When you start in Formula Apex, it's good to know what you should avoid doing, because these mistakes can stop you from progressing and becoming a faster driver. So here are 10 beginner mistakes you should never make. When you start in Formula Apex, you already have a large selection of free cars to choose from, so it's best to pick one. It might be tempted to buy one of the midfield cars as you slowly start to progress, but at this point in the game, buying those cars is practically throwing money out of the window. Remember, you're tight on cash at the beginning of the game and you need to save as much as you can. Rather, it's better to aim for one of the top team cars, because with faster cars, you can get money faster and more efficiently, and once you have a large cash deposit, you can start purchasing the cars you want. Another beginner mistake is buying older cars in the beginning of the game. Once again, you can't afford to buy these at the beginning of the game, but also because it's better to learn the tracks with the 2024 cars at first, because it will help you gain the necessary experience you need to master the circuits. Once you have that, then you can go ahead and learn the other cars. Picking any tire compound. The tire compounds in Formula Apex are just there for you to choose from because maybe the hard tires look really cool on your car. Each tire actually serves a purpose, just like in real life Formula 1. To keep it brief, soft tires have low tire life but the best performance, and while the hard tires is the exact opposite, and the medium tires is the sweet spot in the middle. Braking late into corners to try and outbrake your opponents is just not worth it most of the time, just like in real life and every other game. You have to remember the principle of slow in and fast out. Formula 1 cars have amazing braking capabilities. Just look at the difference between an ordinary car and a Formula 1 car. This is also true for Formula Apex, but know that there is a limit to this. You can't expect to make a hairpin corner after a high-speed straight going at full speed by starting to brake at around the 50-meter board. And if you do struggle knowing where you have to brake, I strongly recommend turning on the racing line, as it gives you a good indication on where it's best to brake the car. Eventually, if you do master that, you can take the racing line off and then try and determine the most optimal braking line. Practice makes perfect, which is why you should not go straight to the race mode when you start the game in Formula Apex. I understand that racing is like the biggest part of Formula Apex, but don't expect to get pole position and race win trophies without a good amount of practice. Which is why I recommend that before you enter race mode, you should go to practice mode and take the time to learn all of the tracks, so that with that experience, you can go head to head with other drivers. This video is sponsored by our partners at INV Works. These guys make amazing UGC accessories, including helmets, hats, radio headsets, and tons more. These products are high quality and at a very affordable price. Get some incredible UGCs at their Roblox store. The link will be in the description. One of the biggest mistakes beginners do is fail to realize the importance of DRS and ERS. They just ignore it and don't make use of it. And you can't blame them for it, because most new people in Formula Apex might not know what these are. These technologies, just like in real life F1, is crucial to finding more lap time and can be used strategically against your opponents on track. Without using those, you could be losing maybe a second or two per lap, which is a lot, especially during longer races. Draining all of the ERS on the first lap of the race is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. It leaves you without battery for the rest of the race, and you'll have to sacrifice a lot of lap time if you want to get some ERS back. The most optimal way to use ERS is out of the corners and on long straights if DRS isn't available, or if you just want to get a bit more top speed on a hot lap. During a race, it's better not to use it as much on the long straights, but it can be useful when you're fighting an opponent on track. Obviously, ERS is recharged when you brake, so the more you brake, the more you gain. So use that knowledge wisely. Similarly to going for race mode without practice, trying to sign up for pro leagues when you are a beginner or have poor performance will be detrimental to your racing career. I understand that a lot of you may not know what counts as a fast lap. Well, there's a lot of hot lap videos from fast drivers on YouTube which you can check out. Obviously, I will link some channels in the description if you want, if you don't know who they are. I recommend watching those so that you know what to aim for in general. A good indication of how your lap is fast can be shown by how much money you get per lap. The more money you get, the better the lap is. The only issue is that the game doesn't apply this for very fast lap. As an example of this, if you get a 105 in Hockenheim, which is pretty average, will get you the full 60k £1,000, which is obviously the max that you can get. However, it's possible to set a sub 103 lap time, which is considered very fast / world record pace. This obviously is different for each track, which is why I recommend doing some research so you have a better idea of what to aim for, and even from those YouTubers who make those hot lap videos, you can try and learn their racing lines. I've talked about this before on the channel, but I want to reiterate it since I get a lot of comments asking if they should do this. Selling your car is a classic beginner mistake when trying to get some quick cash. Not only do you lose the car, but you also lose 60% of the original car value. Basically, if you paid £10 million for a car, you only gain £4 million back and you've lost the car because obviously you've sold it. You are better off just grinding and keeping the car, because if you only sell cars to try and raise money quickly, you're going to be stuck in an infinite money deficit loop where it will always feel like you need to grind so much just to get the next car or just to get this car. You get the point. And last but not least, pitting in race mode. The longest race option is 10 laps, which you can easily do on the mediums or maybe even on the softs if you know how to save those tires. Whatever tire you choose, it will make it to the end without needing to pit even once. Most people in race mode don't even pit either, so you're just going to give yourself a big disadvantage. It is acceptable though if you do pit when you lose your front wing, because you're probably going to lose more time on track without a front wing than you would have if you just pitted as soon as you could. And that's it for the 10 beginner mistakes. If there's any beginner mistakes that you've made, let me know in the comments down below, and any advice you have for any drivers to improve. Anyways, with that, I'll see you in the next one. If you have enjoyed watching this video, do make sure to like and subscribe. Consider becoming a YouTube member or sending a super thanks to support the channel. And thanks to Creeperman, Meta Studios, and Mr. Dilophosaurus for being ultimate members.